So much, Ruth. Here's my book, The Spiritual Compass to 2021. So here we are. Today I'm reading from the chapter, Relationship Resets in a Polarized World. So I begin. We're more polarized than ever. Our relationships, sometimes with our nearest and dearest, friends or family members, have suffered. Things dividing us include culture issues, politics, science, conspiracy theories, and the pandemic. During the pandemic, polarization reached a new peak with shutdowns that kept people isolated at home. There was an unspoken fear factor of unknowns sitting in the background. Fear naturally amplifies tribalism. As we, as a global society, withdrew from public interactions, many of us began questioning our deeper values. We made adjustments in how we lived. In the chapter, Positive Stories from Real People, you will learn how some families and friends coped and shared interests that brought them together. In fact, the 33 inspirational stories include those from IWOSC members, Rosalie Kahn and Mark Miller. The familiar thread of these positive stories was the silver lining discovered when people reevaluated their priorities and enjoyed quality time with one another. Not all families became closer during the pandemic. Not all friends stayed in touch. Many relationships fractured, some seemingly beyond repair. Conversations and even regular connections stopped abruptly. For friends, this often translated into cold silence, with each party feeling sadness and disappointment about the relationship. In many cases, people experienced grief about the loss of what had been key relationships. The sadness was amplified because of nonsensical nature of the relationship breakdowns. Within families, ironically, not even the shared blood prevented broken relationships. Sisters stopped talking to brothers. Children stopped talking to their parents. Cousins scratched other cousins off the birthday celebration list. How could this happen? The roots of this dynamic can be found in our online societal dialogue. This is often driven by outrage over issues. The primordial ego-based tendency is to take sides, us versus them. The business model of social media is to drive engagement. The more a user selects a certain type of story, the more often similar content arrives in the newsfeed. Repeated viewings of similar themed stories anchor opinions about issues of the day. In The Social Dilemma, Tristan Harris shows how social media and algorithms are changing our society, keeping groups of people in separate bubbles of information, and what we can do about it. He and others in the tech industry are a part of a movement involving humane technology. Now, relationships could have fractured even without social media. However, online creating of contentious issues, people already had strong issues about, fueled outrage and the need to find others sharing the same views. We are social creatures, after all. Sharing and communicating are key survival tools. So imagine an educated businessman who, out of curiosity, researched a conspiracy theory his friends were talking about. Perhaps unable to fact-check information, he accepted it as a worrisome truth. The man then, so concerned about what might happen to his country, went out to talk to all members of his family to warn them. No one believed him. They all shunned him. All contact stopped. The man felt very alone and without support. To reset fractured relationships, we must understand the true nature of human beings. We are conditioned with ego biases and unconscious tendencies that drive us. However, we are not our biases and tendencies. We are not the opinions we hold about issues. At our core, we are pure love. In fact, we are eternal, cosmic beings incarnated here now to transform our world out of fear and into love. Starting from that premise, know that every relationship in our lives is purposeful and part of our learning. There are no mistake encounters with others. Connection with others indeed is our lifeline to self-understanding and feeling supported in navigating these uncertain times. We are not meant to travel solo. Knowing the value of friends and family, we naturally want to regularly evaluate these relationships. And when out of balance, repair or transform them. If for some reason a relationship cannot be transformed in the present, we sometimes need to let it be for a while. In this chapter is a process I created to help you discern the status of troubled relationships and how to reset them or let them be. The Spiritual Compass to 2021 is an inspirational look at society's precipice, the history of how we got here, and how we can personally navigate these times. So I invite you after today to visit me at Selacia.com, pick up a copy of my book, The Spiritual Compass to 2021, and contact me personally so we can connect. Thank you very much.